Hello and welcome to the very first of our Tales of Ubersreik, where we get to take each of our PCs through some of the well-known locales that many people who've been playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay for the last so many years have encountered. In particular, though, we're doing things a bit differently this time, because we don't just have one for this particular tale, we have two. Because they're both going in a very similar direction. At least to begin with. They will be splitting off very soon. So, without any further ado, let's just get straight into it. And we will start on the barge. Now, for this particular tale, they're going to be starting as the barge is pulling its way into the Duchy of Ubersreik. A conversation to be had before they actually arrive. Their plans are, well, we shall soon see. And I do believe it is Alamennowyth who's going to be approaching Gerhardt. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Sounds very good. So let's set the scene. It's past the 6th bell in the evening. You've passed into the Duchy of Ubersreik. Mm-hmm. You're now in your home territory, your ancestral lands, so to speak. In truth, these aren't your ancestral lands. This is the Aschaffenburg lands that you're passing through. But it nevertheless changes everything. You're no longer that wastrel student anymore. You're no longer that, you know what you are. You've got to be a grown-up. Mm. Everything that your father represents is going to be reflected in you somehow, presumably. And you have been, it's fair to say, probably a bit down. Contemplative might be a better way of looking at it. A lot of introspection going on.
Yeah.
And a lot of beneath the waterline, beneath the, you've got a name for it, the floor?
The floor?
The deck.
Oh, right.
Down below, out of the sunlight, where you can have your deep introspective moments. Alamennowyth, quite the opposite, has been atop the deck, atop that sail, atop the mast, atop the gunwale along the edges, until eventually she's had a good think and realises that she knows that Gerhardt is about to go and do not something foolish, something potentially incredibly important. And that's return to his family and try to make sense of the horror that is happening in the Empire, the politics that are collapsing out. And these past few days, it's over a week now, where you've been making your way up the Reich River system and then into the canal system and then down towards Ubersreik itself. There's been quite a lot of concern about just how effective the plans that the bad guys have turned out. Gerhardt, in particular, a few days ago, brought up one particular point that really nailed it home to you just how effective they've been and also how sharp Gerhardt is. It was all about Bergenhafen. And in Bergenhafen, there was a big ritual of some obviously terrible nature being conducted. And you interrupted that. But even though you interrupted it, they were still prepared for your interruption. Mm-hmm. Not only that, it seems quite clear that there was no delegation coming from Ubersreik. The whole thing was set up for him to go in so that they could say a young Freud was there. And you walked right into it. And a young Freud was there. And now a young Freud has killed the ruling council of Bergenhafen. Well, that's going to go very well for setting up sites. And now there's no ruling council. Does that mean the charter falls apart that they've got? Does that mean Bergenhafen falls back underneath the control of the ruling family, the Saponateens? The answers are uncertain, but clearly the politics behind you are happening right now and have been planned for. And Gerhardt said one thing on top of that made Alamennowyth particularly concerned. Not only was that all prepared, but he's also quite convinced that even if they had somehow got out of it, there was probably another plan in place too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tiers of plans. And the horrifying effectiveness of them is something that Gerhardt has been contemplating deeply. Because this is targeting his family.
You've also, well, it's obviously raised, but it's still the use of, is it light magic? Meaning that clearly they're on side as well, so...
The light wizards.
Very deep.
Or some of them are.
And it became particularly concerning with something that Elric had said about how the majority of this apparent cabal, rebels within the colleges, had come from the Light College. And there was a light wizard, annihilating everything in there, destroying the evidence of anything untoward, but simultaneously not affecting corpses or flesh, leaving behind nothing but the bodies in the wake of your passage.
With no incriminating evidence.
None.
No.
It was so well done. I mean, Gerhardt can't help but tip a hat at its effectiveness. But that is why he has been sitting down here, maybe arguably called brooding. And you are aware that he's going to be heading up towards Newfalyoung to speak to his father. He's already had a conversation with Leopold. Leopold can't come because he and Leopold are so well known, and you've got to get from Ubersreik all the way up there. There was a discussion about dropping off before arriving at Ubersreik itself, but you needed to have a central point where everyone could gather. There's still a part of you that thinks it might be wise to get off the barge before you even arrive at Ubersreik. But then you'd have to sneak back in. Do you sneak in? Do you meet it on the other side? There's complications involved with all of it. Plus, there's just a part of you that wants to see what's happened to Ubersreik. What has become of it? So, on this evening, as you've now arrived in the Duchy, and he's sitting down there below decks, and there has been a few conversations above decks, particularly with Yumi, about do we need to go in there and have an intervention, cheer him up. That dark cloud of Ubersreik has been slowly drawing over him for some time, and the awareness he needs to speak to his father. The dread.
Yeah.
And it's Alamennowyth who broaches this particular situation as she pads in, lithe, slender, and inquisitive.
Gerhardt's playing minor key lutes.
Of course.
Nothing too finagly. It's more of picking at it, you know what I mean? Both in the literal and metaphorical sense.
Alamennowyth will hop down the stairs.
Your concern is that you notice that he has become less and less interested with outside. He finds it seemingly almost uncomfortable. Being above deck does not suit him. That apparently makes Yumi sad.
God.
Oh, yes. Hello.
We're almost at Ubersreik.
Are we? Time certainly goes quickly, doesn't it, on these barges? Okay, well, good. Excellent.
Have you put any thought into how you will deliver the letter
Ah,
from the trot to your father?
yes. I've been sort of mulling it. I must admit, I actually fully intended on not doing it for a little while, and then I thought a little bit more, and I thought actually, considering everything, I should go, not just to deliver the letter, but to warn my father, which seems wrong because it wouldn't be me who usually does, who warns him. It's sort of, he would warn me or tell me what to do. And not that I'm implying that I'll be telling him what to do, but I'll be bringing information that he has not gathered himself. If ever I had in the past sort of thought, hey, that's a good idea, or look, here's a smart position, father, you should try and take this, he would have undoubtedly thought of that and then acted upon it and already be 3 steps ahead. And I don't think he will be of this one. It's too big. And also, who else is there except us who has actually experienced it?
You will certainly, I would imagine, be bringing him news of a greater conspiracy.
Yes.
Against your family. And that the Emperor himself may simply be a pawn in a greater game.
I think that is the case. I think he'll think that it's interesting. I'm trying to figure out how I want to have the conversation with him, and you know how you can sort of play it out. You begin with that line of questioning or that statement, and you know exactly what that person's going to say, and then you get stuck. So you go back to the beginning again. You start it all again, and Well,
In my experience, men like your father have very little time. They value time above all things. What they do, conciseness. They do not value stories. They do not care for your presentation of events to make yourself look one way or another. They care for facts. Walk in there and say, Father, I have seen many things. I wish to tell you of them.
Yes, I was thinking sort of big statement piece first, and then if he requires any extra details, then I'll go that way. Dr. Fast has actually been very good in terms of helping me be more direct, especially in my studies.
She has been somewhat blunt with him, repeatedly.
Got a slight bruise on the back of my head. I wasn't entirely sure if signing on to for educational pieces again would be so physical. Didn't used to do that back at the university, but certainly helping. Or at least I know how to deal with the bruise. Minor one, obviously, nothing too much, but still. So, yes, I think big statement piece. You're a patsy. But he'll know that.
Do not assume what he knows and what you need to say.
Well,
go in and tell him, Father, I am home and I bring news and a letter for you. Give him the letter, let him digest it, and let him ask you, because you cannot know what he already knows.
No, that's true. Okay, that is very true. Yes, well, look, it's my intent to go, and I know that there is risk involved with it. Don't get me wrong. Which is why, obviously, I've got this on the side, and I point towards the terribly unfashionable outfit that Yume's put together for me.
It's a horror.
It is bad. It's real bad. There is no feathers in any point, basically. There's no hat.
I mean, why would you
there is a hat, but it's not. A hat isn't a hat without feather, so there is no hat, theoretically. You know how it is. Look at this. Like... puts it on. It's one of those sort of very broad rimmed, but has that big sort of quiffy sort of, the sort of thing, like a pillow basically on top of a rim kind of thing. Look at that. There's nothing for my hair, or my body, or anything. It's just so disproportionate, but nobody would think,
You know that I walk in Ladriel's footsteps.
Yes, no.
Her shadow envelops me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I am with you, it will envelop you too. So I think I should come with you. It will give you a greater chance to get there without our enemies predicting it and setting a trap for you.
That is true. That's the other thing. Why? I know this is very cliche to say, but why me or us? Not us as in the collective, us as in young Freuds. Why?
It is useless to speculate.
Yes, no, I know.
But those words just fill your mouth with poison. Because that's all you've been doing. Speculating, trying to understand. And the big difference between what, for example, Father Leopold says and your position, or perhaps what Alamennowyth says in your position, is that you can see what they did. You can see what occurred in Bergenhaven.
Mm-hmm.
You can see what was put in place and what was calculatingly constructed for the circumstances at hand. You can see that there were players there that clearly either A, didn't understand what was happening, or B, were very good actors. But you think it's most certainly A, meaning that there is another power, and you are quite convinced, given what you saw, it's demonic in nature. It is otherworldly, and it is exceedingly intelligent. But you don't quite have the words for it. But you do remember something that Habercorn told you.
Oh.
Of all people, Sister Habercorn, blunt as she often was, you will hear all talk, yeah? About what is and what isn't. But what you gotta remember is the second they come here, they can be done in. The second they come here, they abide by our rules. Oh, they try to break him with that magic spit. But once they're here, they're fucked. She was drunk. She very rarely swore. But when she got drunk, she was often exceedingly insightful. So there would always be those moments where you would try to ensure that there were bottles of alcohol around her. Leopold's favourite thing when he was younger. Because it often meant he could creep away as well. But it's something that's been playing on your mind a bit. Maybe that's how you can tease their plan apart. Because the second they try to do a material thing here in the material realm, they're no longer stuck by their immaterial thoughts. That means that they can be predicted. Indeed, you feel like that's almost what Alamennowyth was saying some time ago, that the whole thing had been predicted and that she was now trying to break that prediction. And it's been teasing and circling around in your mind because you're not quite sure what it means, but you're sure that you want to know what it means. And you're also sure that there are people out there who don't want you to know what it means.
Okay.
It's in their best interests, possibly, or simply, theologically speaking, the idea of trying to figure out what the bad guys are doing is just stupid.
Yes, that's a lot of information. Yes, well, look...
I can tell you one thing, and I have not been... Well, I have been direct with you. You know why I am protecting you.
Yes.
Because I saw your face. And I knew that you were somehow the key, some sort of something that needed to be protected to try to avoid...
Protect is not necessarily the word you would use. I'll interrupt there. More followed. Because that's where shit was going to occur, to put it bluntly. And the only way to interrupt shit is to be where the shit is happening. That would be an easier way
to follow you. Because you are where things will happen. Things will happen around you. So other people had predicted you.
Yes.
But what they couldn't see was what I am now.
Because you're
because I'm
a nothing in the...
Because I am protected by Ladriel.
Yes.
No. It's hard without telling you the whole of my people's theology.
Hello. We're at a bit of a juncture that I thought you'd like to know, Master.
Right.
As he comes down. I'm interrupting.
No, it's okay.
I'm really sorry. The doctor.
Yes.
Yeah, she wanted me to intrude. Didn't want to do it herself. I find it very difficult to say no to her, actually.
I know. Tell me about it.
I'd rather not.
Right.
Quite intimidating, actually. She just cuts through. No. Sorry. No. We're coming up to a place where we could hop off here.
Right. Yes.
And she intending to hop off here. So that she can wander up to Newfoundland herself, actually. Whether she doesn't think travelling with you is wise, but she wants to be there when the contract is organised so that she can receive it, of course. And she wants to know if you want to get off here or whether you want to go all the way to Ubersreik and go from there. She's a very independent-minded young woman, and I really don't know how to say no to that.
Where are we coming down from?
So you're making your way along the canal system, which you can see on your little map over there as you lead over. Hagar Cribs canals. I presume if you've got the right one there, that leads down towards
Ubersreik.
And you can see easily if you stop off along that, you can just hop off. Yeah, totally.
Yes.
You could do the same and avoid possibly the worst that Ubersreik has to offer, and it has been mooted more than once. Leopold thinks that's a far better idea, but you've been somewhat more stubborn. You kind of want to see the whole city. It's up to you whether you want to do that, though.
Yes, Lucas. Good, excellent. Well, would you like to go?
What, to Newfoundland?
Yes.
I suppose I'm going to have to present myself to your father, aren't I?
I mean, you don't have to.
I mean, I'm aware of his reputation. I have no particular desire to do that, but at the same point, I'm quite convinced that he might not be willing to pay for what needs to be paid for if he hasn't quizzed me directly.
That's fair enough. You could be falsified.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look. Yes, fine. If that is the case, I suggest that you also get off now with the doctor.
Oh, I knew you were going to say
I know. If you can...
I think she knows too.
Right. Well, look, if you got...
Right, I'm going to be blunt. She made a pass at me. I'm bloody married.
Okay.
And I have no desire to go wandering around in the mountains with her alone. But I accept that if I have to, I suppose I have to.
Well, you have to.
I mean, she's a very attractive woman.
He has to.
Yes, no, but you do have to. Lucas, look, stay strong, okay? Maybe just mess up your hair. Your moustache is looking too good at the moment, so just...
Master, seriously.
No, it is. And the eye patch, it's very roguish, so I can understand, honestly. But, look, maintain... Just talk about boring things.
I have a good teacher.
Yes, exactly. She doesn't like it when you talk too much. So just blather on about ultimately nothing.
I'm actually too terrified if I had to do that. I think.
No, okay, she'll just cut through that. You'll be fine. Hire a horse. Just make it quicker. You know what I mean?
I think actually, what I thought you said is what might be the wiser option.
No, not that thing.
I'm sure that would probably take her off my back, so to speak. Right. So, yes. I suppose we better go. I thought you were going to say that. I mean, I predicted it already.
A horse, not...
I am fully aware.
Okay.
Right, good evening, I suppose.
All right, well, good luck. You got your cane? It's all cane? Everything?
Yeah.
All right. Stay away from any beastly-looking men, all right?
Yeah.
As in beast men,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Good evening. He goes upstairs.
He's a good man.
He is.
I do worry about him, though. I think I would like to give him a holiday at one point. I have spoken to him about it, but it's sort of... He lives so far away, so it's difficult to get it with his family. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm obviously coming off piece. Look, I want to go through Ubersreik. If you wish to join me, you can, because, well, let's face it, it would be strange if Gerhardt of House Youngfreud was seen with an elf, and that would be sort of not really known or seen or anything like that, especially...
We will disguise you. Your father, does he have elves in his court?
I've got my disguise. Yes, he has had a few, and there is usually some visitors. It's just, I don't mean to... Well, no, I'll be...
You are aware that the elven visitors that he has had, that you're aware of, are mostly, let's say, passers-by from the south, from Athelloren, and they are not friendly.
Yeah, I don't remember the difference. Well, okay, right.
Of Athelloren, and they are xenophobic in the extreme.
Yeah,
and the rare times that they've come, as it's almost felt like they were deigning to grant him access to their deep, insightful ways, and they are not nice people.
Yes, no.
Almost the exact opposite of Alamennowyth, who is quite gregarious, open, charming almost.
Yeah.
They are not. They are blunt, they're cutting, and they are scathing, and they rarely ever speak Reichspiel.
Right, okay. Yeah, no, yes, he does, but they do not, in the best way, actually, reflect your character in any way, shape, or form. Also, they tend to go a little too... so I obviously have an eye for good clothes and things like that, and... when it's just too much, they go too far. They do too. I mean, why does everything have to be sort of this looks like bark or this is a golden leaf or
Azrai.
Yes.
What do you call them?
What do we call them?
The Wood Elves of Athelloren normally.
What's that man said? The Wood Elves.
Athelloren.
Athelloren. Most of the time, obviously.
You should not call them that. You should call them the Azrai.
Azrai. Okay.
Azrai.
Azarai or Azrai?
In your dialect, it's Azrai.
Azrai.
But that's not how they pronounce it themselves. They're much more Azrai.
Azrai.
Okay, lovely.
Azrai. Say it.
Azrai. Azrai. No?
No, just Azrai. Just
okay,
throw it away.
I'll throw it away. Yeah, okay, fine, sure. Anyway, just too much. And obviously, like, you have had some interesting outfit choices, but I think they were more pressure of the environment from what I could tell.
I like to blend in.
Yes,
You do know that.
Yes, exactly. So we should be fine. And also, obviously, you like to blend in, so you're probably the best person to take on the job.
Yes.
Realistically.
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite fortunate, actually. I hadn't thought of it massively.
It's quite clear Gerhardt's beginning to just
babble. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
the nerves are high.
Yeah.
Will you tell me a secret?
What?
Tell me a secret.
Oh,
not so quick to talk now.
I'm just trying to think of which one. That's all. I once threw a potato at a passing Varenian priest and blamed it on one of the other kids. I felt extreme guilt for that for years now that I've said it, and because he got an absolute bollocking for doing that.
Did he get a thrashing?
He did, yes. I mean, I wasn't a man at that point, so technically, I suppose it's just all children's fun, but still, I was close. Only 9. Well, I feel a lot better though. Thank you for that.
Good.
What potato throw? It's been with me for years. Right, so I suppose I should get changed because if that's where we're going, how long we got?
You're not even sure, but it'll be several hours yet.
Okay.
That doesn't stop him pacing. That doesn't stop him being uncertain and unsure.
I'll get changed.
And now potatoes.
Play the equivalent of whatever the cure is.
Friday, I'm in love.
Yeah, sure. On the lute, probably quite badly. Again, it's not like committing to do the proper things. You know what I mean? Like he'll skip a chord progression and he'll then but stick with it, melody in his head kind of thing, and then carry it on.
It's late evening, very late evening, when he hears from above the call from Bloodhilda. Home!
Right, okay. Are you still with
Apparently
me?
her home also.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, I suppose it's quite unnerving the way you can just sort of sit there and perch.
Do nothing.
I mean, I sort of forgot that you were there for a good...
Well, I am, yeah.
Hour and a bit. No, yeah. So, I suppose let's go, shall we? Do you have everything you need?
I have everything I need.
Of course you do.
Always.
It's quite impressive, really. Okay.
Ubersreik by night is not what Ubersreik used to be. You've been out on the town more than once in your many years. You've never been to Ubersreik by comparison. And for you, it was always a place that was alive, vibrant, dangerous, yes, but you always had guards with you, so it wasn't really dangerous. You were known by the locals. Something that concerns you a little, but you look so unlike yourself now. You're a grown man. At the very least, you look different to that. And with a hood and with the most awful hat and terrible clothes, no one would recognise you. You wonder what happened to Wendell, your little brother. There's a slight twist of guilt that he's been caught up in this mess. Somehow like it's your fault.
There's no way he would have been able to survive any of this sort of thing as well. First.
Wendland's just, he was such a lovely little kid. That's what he was. But not exactly a brave child.
No.
But now, the streets are mostly empty. And patrols can be seen. Multiple patrols. The barge pulls in, the fees are paid by Bloodhilda. She has places to go. Apparently she lives here, normally.
Oh.
People to see. But it's really strange seeing the blue and red Altdorf troops moving in squads of 5 to 10. It's not even small numbers. A couple just keeping the peace These are soldiers moving through the streets. They're white of Reichland, wrapped in little bows on their uniforms as they go from street to street. As you're moving in, gliding in, eventually docking, you see them everywhere. They're up on the hill where the noble families would normally gather, and you'd expect to see patrols up there, but they're right down, they're everywhere. But beyond that, there's also Ubersreik troops moving around. Strange to see the blue and yellow of Ubersreik. Very strange indeed. Walking with them. Separate patrols. The streets being empty, though.
Are they completely empty?
Mostly empty.
Yes, but not like there's a curfew.
There might be a curfew.
Yeah.
The dock dues are triple.
Wow.
Last time you were here. And the only reason that you knew it was because you often heard as you were passing by, you're naturally inquisitive. How much does this cost? How much is that? What's this? What's that?
Supernumerate.
Yeah, quite. Triple. Actually triple. Things have changed. Taxes, they're bleeding everyone. Bleeding everything here. 2 Altdorf soldiers dealing with the tax. Following around with the clerk who's responsible for picking up the dock dues. The harbour masters are all being patrolled by Altdorf soldiers as well.
What's the sort of usual process for just getting off a boat and walking into the city?
Well, normally it would be that.
Right.
The taxes that need to be paid would be paid by whomever it was who deals with the dock dues. Sometimes, depending on where you are, there's taxes for the number of people aboard the vessel, taxes for the goods, taxes for berthing. If you've got a private wharf, then it's a completely different set of issues. You've got the various guilds that you'll need to deal with if you're offloading or taking on goods, and to do any of that you need to have the correct licenses, or they just won't take it on, and no goods are allowed to be landed without the Stevedores Guild, for example, landing it. There's all manners of bureaucracy in place that you've been on the periphery of and never directly dealt with. But every single time that you've come in, you've just come in and off you've gone, and that's pretty much it. But then you were part of the ruling family, no surprise. But looking back on it, it largely would have been the same. They would have moved out, and if there's anything that needed to be paid for, it would be paid for at the end of the wharf, and away you go. You are concerned there might be a curfew. You are concerned. Yumi's already gone. Nowhere to be seen.
Right. Did she get off now, or did she get off earlier?
I don't know.
Right, excellent. I told Birdie, a couple of days ago, actually, that she wanted to come with us.
That's awesome.
But she's just so, you can spot from a mile off. You know what I mean? And she refuses to dye the hair as well. So any Ulrican that we come across, even it's unlikely they'll be down here, but as soon as they see that, they know, and then and the whole puzzle thing. Anyway, look. What do you think we should do? Do you think we should just try and hide and walk in, or do we? I mean, if they're bleeding everybody.
Why don't we ask if Blutilda or someone else can find out if there's a curfew? There's no point us walking off the barge and being arrested for breaking curfew.
No, that is true.
Blutilda's currently sitting on the dock, chatting away with one of the officials there. She's shaking her head, frowning. Fucking ridiculous, you hear her say.
Right, excellent.
She marches back onto the barge.
Sticks head out. Is there a curfew, Blutilda?
She says, yeah, we can't even dock. We're not allowed to string ourselves up. We just got to drop an anchor. It's ridiculous.
Really?
It's ridiculous. And we're just going to get drifted into it anyway. Absolute waker. Yeah, so I'd recommend leaving tomorrow.
Right, okay. But we don't have a vessel or anything, so getting off this is going to be tricky.
Well, I'm sure someone once curfew's gone, will be able to row us.
No, I know. I'm just thinking, looking at.
Row your way.
To the port, to dock, for lack of a better term.
No, we'll be fine. We'll just dock up. We're going to be.
Once the curfew is gone, we'll be able to dock.
Yeah.
No, I'm sort of questioning whether it's worth us going through and risking the curfew for, just because it's nighttime ultimately.
No, we'll go in the morning.
You think
We'll
so?
get off the boat. I'll wrap myself up and we'll just walk.
Okay, all right, fine.
You're not
You
actually
really
that
wanted
distinctive.
to go. You just want this over and done
It's more
with.
that the anxiousness, you know. I mean, it's
Yeah.
another.
The anxiety's high.
Yeah.
And having to sit and deal with that for another whole night is stomach-wrenchingly awful.
Right. Okay.
But the sun eventually does rise. Altdorf wakes up. And it becomes much more like the city you remembered. Ubersreik, not Altdorf.
I shall keep you
Ubersreik
company.
wakes up.
I shall keep you company and tell you the story of Azurian. You will like it.
Right.
Azurian, king of the elven gods. Bifurcated mask, one side black, one side white. Azurian the phoenix with great feathers that burn. Azurian the god that died and came back. Killed by the chaos gods in one of the very first wars, but came back. And showed those pesky chaos gods what for. And then withdrew completely and told all of the other gods to withdraw from the mortal realms. Because their influence was breaking the mortal realms.
Through Elvish lore, do they refer to the ruinous powers as chaos gods then?
She'll call them the ruinous powers.
She will call them whatever word is most appropriate for the Reichspiel. So she'll
just call them the ruinous powers.
Yeah, ruinous powers. And
remember
how, according to her lore, chaos gods, the ruinous powers, are nothing more than the other gods. Yeah. They're not special. They're not different. They rebelled. And Azurin took them to task after being killed by them. Because to begin with, he refused to take part in the war. And he watched on like a judge until eventually they took him down. And the other gods, according to her, eventually retreated to a pyramid of Azurin. And they were fought all the way up to the top of it. All was lost until he returned. And he killed everything. Everything. And bound the chaos gods away from the material realm. Swore all gods, those that survived the Great War, told them all to leave and never return. So the war continued with the mortals.
Get about halfway through, then I'm asleep.
Oh.
Bless him. He just
put me blank on.
Yeah, totally. Bless.
But I haven't told you about Ladriel, she'll whisper. And how she stayed in the mortal realms.
Silence. Snooze.
I haven't told you how right you were about Sigma and the cracked vessel. Oh,
I mean, that's Ed's personal validation.
Yeah.
But like,
the next day, with the sun up and Ubersreik, not Altdorf, Ubersreik alive. The Altdorf troops are still milling with everybody else. The Ubersreik troops seem to be doing nothing except for basic watch patrols. There are no real soldiers here. There's a difference in tone between them. One is quite clearly military, the other one is quite clearly policing. And the military tend to stand back and watch. Constantly watching. Constantly, gently controlling and making their appearance known. It's difficult to fathom just how many there are here, but there's not hundreds. This place is properly occupied.
Oh, right. Okay.
Properly occupied. And the few yellow and blue troops of Ubersreik are massively outnumbered.
Is there any...
I'm sorry.
I'm just wondering, from the boat, is there any obvious... Or presumably there has been some damage done to the city, but is there anything...
None that you can see?
No. Okay.
It looks like it was taken almost peacefully.
Oh, that's really disappointing.
It is, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Crossing Ubersreik in the morning is surprisingly easy. Nobody's looking for you here. Nobody expects you to be here. Young Freuds are clearly sought after by certain parts of the local community, but there's no reason for you to be here this day. And unless you do anything to particularly make yourself stand out, you'll be out the city walls in very little time at all.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get off and over. And do you know what? It's disappointing because at least you would expect to see some sort of signs of writing on the wall, something to show the displeasure of the people, and there's nothing. Or if there is something, it's not enough. All right, there are a few places that I just would like to nip past, but
maybe we do that on the way back.
Yes, that's probably a good idea, because at least then if we do get caught or anything like that, we're back on the boat and can leave immediately if we need to, like we left Altdorf. We should stop leaving places. Yeah, and Bergenhafen. We should stop leaving places being chased by.
We should try. We should try.
We should try. Okay, maybe this
try
is
not to piss off Dad.
Yeah, maybe this is the one. All right, so maybe this one will do it.
Yeah, maybe this one will come through for us.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, good luck.
Later on in the afternoon, the first real signs of conflict can be seen, but it's the past signs of conflict. A small village, not particularly large or impressive, entirely burnt out, but the flames have long ago died. The smoke disappeared. Clearly, at some point, there was some form of resistance of some kind here.
We're out of Ubersreik now.
Out of Ubersreik now.
Getting through this
and we're
walls.
We're a good 15 miles away from
okay, right.
How far is it to Newfoundland?
Yes, Newfoundland. It's not too bad, actually. The roads...
A day or two at most.
Yeah, the roads are quite good. Keep an eye out for... They're well patrolled as well, so that usually there's not that much danger on them, but keep an eye out for, wildlife, really. It's been the main issues that we've had. We used to have a real greenskin problem, but obviously everybody knows that story.
300 Altdorf soldiers are just marching down the road as you watch them pass by.
Oh.
There's so many of them.
At the back, 200 mounted knights.
There's a lot. It seems...
They're apparently making their way to Ubersreik.
That is a lot of knights.
It seems disproportionate, realistically, for a town under settlement.
One wizard in that lot.
That's specifically a bit strange.
What colour?
An amethyst, long purple robes, bald head.
What do they do? Do you know what they do?
No idea. No lore magic.
You're a noble. You'll know the basics.
You'll know
the lore of death. They deal with hunting down necromancers.
Right, okay.
You don't know a great deal about magic, but you do know that.
They have a bit of like an intertwining with more.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sort of.
Yeah,
you show me the way, I'll do the deed kind of thing.
What kind of knights? Is there any insignia on them?
This is not your area of expertise,
I'll be asking,
but it is yours. These
she'll
aren't,
be asking.
strictly speaking, knights. These are mounted state soldiers. Mounted state soldiers are frowned upon in many quarters because they much prefer the noble knights. But mounted state soldiers come in a variety of different forms: demi-lancers, lancers, pistoliers for the young nobles who've got a little bit too much money to spend and a little bit too much time to go off and do exciting things.
Yeah.
But these are just mounted soldiers, and they're a grim-looking lot.
They look like they've...
Nope. They look like they've seen no particular skirmish or anything similar. They're all just... parading? Would that be fair?
Not that I would know what to look for, to be fair.
Well, wounded people, for example. Scuffing. No, they're quite shiny. Untested, it's fair to say.
It's just, I wonder why. Well, no, I don't wonder why. We're theoretically on the edge of civil war, and this is probably going to be one of the positions where, if not an actual victory could be had, it very much be a message of victory throughout the entire empire, if taken again or retaken. But it might mean that there is a siege going on as well. Not that these ones look like they are sieging. Newfoundland, yeah. Have I told you about Newfoundland?
No.
Oh, well, I tell you what, this is actually quite fascinating. And I presume that I'm telling you this as we're walking. So, as a castle, never fallen. Never been taken. Ubersreik has exchanged hands 4 or 5 times over the years, and some people say almost sort of...
And have been sacked completely by greenskins as well.
Oh yes, and that.
Yeah, completely razed.
Hence my greenskin comment.
Oh, when was that? The greenskin?
I think it was about 300 years ago.
Years ago.
Oh, so close!
Oh, is it?
Good job.
Only 100 actually. It's only 100.
Ah, balls, that's not close.
Yeah. I'm going to go check it up. Now my brain's out there. Ping me when Grom the Paunch did his thing. My brain has just lost it. It wrote that section too. Gosh darn it.
And so, yeah, never been taken. Technically, the original House of Joy is what it was referred to. So before Magnus sort of brought all the houses together, that was the main position of the party of the family that controlled this area, because of how tactically important it was. Ubersreik ultimately just came up because, well, it's on a main river, and rivers bring trade, and trade brings money, and then you put big walls around your money.
100 years ago.
I heard that many of the Reiklander peoples, the old peoples, were some of the most terrifying, I don't know, captains of Sigmar.
Oh,
the Gormans, the Trots,
yeah,
the House of Joy.
Yeah, so interesting. So people don't really like to talk about it. You know, it's all out there. I say that when I look at myself. Well, not this, obviously, but...
Well, I heard it from an elf who remembers.
Oh! Was there?
Well...
Or watching, or...
Went past.
Who was that?
I can't recall, actually. I can't actually remember. They're just an elf.
Right, just an elf. Interesting. It must be so strange to live as long as your people do. Do you measure your lives in... Because there must be positions where you get too full. Does that make sense? Not as in food, but as in knowledge and thoughts, and you're putting more on top of each other, and eventually it all just could become this strange mass. And
yeah, every day is a new day.
How? You know more than you did the previous day.
Yes.
So it can't be a new day because you've experienced these things before.
But every day is a new day.
Oh, right. You mean in most... Yeah, okay. I thought you were going for a metaphorical. But that is actually quite true. Yes, every day is a new day, I suppose. So...
Do you not get full?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, I'm relatively young still. And, I have gotten full of certain things, I suppose. You get bored of things and you say, I don't want to do that anymore.
We do not get bored.
You must get bored.
No.
Surely?
No.
What about, like, do you never pick up your flute and you go, I'm going to play something, and then you start to play and you go, oh, I don't want to play this anymore, this is boring?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah.
I always decide what I want to play and then I play it. And if the situation changes, I change what I play to suit the situation.
But how do you make anything up?
What do you mean?
If you know what you're going to play before you play it, how can you make anything up?
Well, then I would decide I would be composing something. And then I would compose something.
Elves are bullshit. It's... Okay. Strange. I suppose it's quite refreshing, I imagine, to just know that you can do the thing that you're going to... So you... Is there any mistakes?
What do you mean?
Like, if everything you think of is going to... You think of it, you do, and it's new. Do you ever... How can there be any sort of mistakes if that is the case?
Because the consequences of your actions can be regretful.
But you know... Wow, okay. No, that makes sense.
If I decide to go to war, then I go to war, but that does not mean people do not die.
True.
And it is sad that they die.
Yes.
In the distance, the thunder of what you presume is hooves. No, it's not quite right. It's not quite hooves. It's something else.
Is it the beating of wings?
Nope.
Shall we get off the road? We should.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Just for... All right.
Well, I don't know what that is. So...
Let us make a decision to get off the road, and it will be a good decision regardless of whatever it is.
You know, like busting them open. No. Oh, you don't. No. I will explain after.
Loping cat-like, with long beaks. Demogryphs.
Ah. Oh, cool.
And each of these demogryphs is about the size of a horse. Some of them a little larger. Their backs look uncomfortable to be ridden, a little bit too pointy and thin. But they are... the saddles are relatively effective at taking the worst of it away. Mounted on them, black knights. And they are loping forwards.
What house is that?
You don't even need to ask. Trot.
Oh.
Trot knights. And these are just trot mercenaries. They're not knightly order. They are not. The trot mercenaries apparently have demogryphs. You knew that they trained animals.
Yeah.
The trots train demogryphs.
Yes.
Well, that much is very clear. A good 50 of them, though, loping by.
That is a lot. That's a lot of
Lances high. They, unlike the state soldiers, look pretty battered and torn. Their armour is all dented.
Mm-hmm.
Their saddles are well worn. Leather smooth with use.
Do they, comparatively, do they look like they know what they're doing, though?
I think it's fair to say probably yes.
Yeah.
Even to your inexpert eyes. You're not exactly the demogryph knight calculator.
No.
But yeah, they definitely look like they know their stuff, but they are far dirtier.
Yeah.
Far more lived in.
I would not like to be those state soldiers when that wave of bird and cat flesh crested over me.
Difference between a horse and a demogryph becomes quite clear as two of them peel off their mounts, having smelled you.
Hey.
The eagle eyes of their mounts are not going to miss anything.
Yeah.
And their riders are quite used to following through. They do nothing more than circle, a check, and then just lope off. You're not what they're looking for.
Right. Well, even as they're doing that, just
yeah, we're both like Alamennowyth is just.
Gosh.
As they pass by, you can see on their backs braces of pistols.
Did one of them accidentally fall off?
No.
Could we steal one?
Nice try. As one of them leaps up onto a tree, taking its rider up. And then goes and sits in the top of the tree as it looks out, and then just leaps out from the top down onto the ground and bounds off at speed. As another one comes in from the side, leaps up a different tree, as they're apparently got scouts.
How far away were the state soldiers?
Yeah,
well, it's quite a while, a long time
this
ago.
Is sometime, a good few hours.
Okay.
You've already stopped for lunch, and you've had you sit down, time to chat.
Poor lunch, poor showing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Bit of salted bacon, bread, dry.
No stew.
No. Well, that's fine. That's good. They will actually tear apart even all those men.
I know. I have seen demogryphs.
You hear in the distance
before.
Dogs.
Right. It's probably a hunting party of some sort if that's the case. They're likely to be what, vanguard?
Very possibly, yeah.
Right. Well, look. If we
she literally shivers.
If we want to, I don't know. We could theoretically announce our presence and.
No.
No.
Let's just go on in an anonymity. We don't know if they've got spies among their number.
That is very true. It's likely that they will do. Excuse me. Long did sleep very well in the end. The story helped, don't get me wrong, but then I had these strange dreams about being stuck in this giant quicksand inside an egg timer, and then everything was leaking out of the timer. But that was good? I don't know.
About a mile away, you can see dogs moving in a great wave. There's a good 400 or 500 of them. Big, huge war mastiffs.
Who has
tearing across
dogs?
With horsemen running at the back, again, all dressed in black.
Yeah. So this is...
Looks like the trots are moving out, and this is not part of Black Rock. It looks like they're moving out.
They're moving out?
Yeah, it looks like they've moved into the main duchy itself. You've not yet reached Black Rock itself.
Are they following... What, they're following us? What, the Duchy of Black Rock? Or...
And in that, you've got Black Rock, the Duchy of Black Rock, that your family owns, and they've moved out of that, and this is, you're not currently in the Duchy of Black Rock.
Okay, yet. Right.
So they're currently, touring around, making their growls be known. Trots, after all, are entirely neutral in this. Yeah.
And they're mercenaries.
Yes.
They are.
Well,
They
yes.
can go anywhere they want.
Possibly.
Is that how it works? I've never
Theoretically.
understood mercenaries.
So the reason why the Trots are the Trots is ultimately because they're technically, for lack of a better term, mercenaries who had really good lawyers, because they found a loophole which allowed them to hire a lot of mercenaries, and now they look like this. And they basically bought an army that rivals most other armies within the Empire, so you sort of have to listen to them. Because if you don't, well...
Do you know what their motto is?
I don't, actually.
Nope.
Nope. Trots Marauders not part of your education because it's a mercenary outfit. It's not. It's not the state.
No, she meant the house, like tame.
No, it's Trots Marauders motto is what the one you're thinking of.
Oh.
But we used to say the Trots, they give you runs. Which is obviously quite funny when you're not seeing...
When you're not being chased
Yes.
by 400 of their war dogs.
Yes, exactly. And
It's
you've seen...
we kill our brothers. That's their motto.
Wow. Did you know that?
Yes, I did know that. I've done my research.
God.
Lord Dave. Sigmar's kill our bro. Well, fuck.
They love civil war. They live for civil war.
Great. Jesus. And I am technically a brother-in-law to those people.
Well, you should be glad. I mean that sincerely.
What? Their house motto is we kill our brothers.
Yes,
and
but
I'm
you
literally
are...
titled... No, I understand.
You are fighting for your life. You're fighting for your family, and
That's
they're on
true.
your side.
Yet, to be fair, if you're going to have good lawyery mercenaries, that sort of covers all sides of things, except, the ethical things, but it's fine. You probably want them at your back rather than at your front.
Teal and silver, bearing the rampant stag.
Oh.
Wow, it's your house. And it feels almost unmanning to see the comparison. 14 soldiers.
Shit.
A small patrol moving its way around as you're moving towards the border of the Duchy of Black Rock. The periphery. 14 soldiers.
How do they look?
They look...
With their eyes.
They look well polished and presentable. This is where it now becomes dangerous because they might spot you.
Yeah.
And you're a known quantity and you don't know who will or who will not recognise you. Now's the time to batten down the hatches, so to speak.
Yeah.
Pull up the hood, pull down the hat. Exactly.
Don't worry. If we are challenged, I have a plan.
Oh, okay. What's the plan?
You'll see. I don't want to use it unless we have to.
It would be better if I knew the plan before you did the plan. What if it's a surprising plan and I think everything's going wrong?
You won't.
Okay. I'm trusting you on this one.
Good. You said your father goes to the Temple of Arena every day,
Yes,
so we could get a message to him there.
that was my intent. This. Yeah.
No, but a subtle message, if we had to.
Oh, well, I need to give him the letter anyway.
I know, but before you give him the letter,
Yeah.
it would be good to alert him that there is someone in town who wants to see him, but we don't tell him it's you.
Right.
So if he goes to the temple every day, we could get a message to the temple. This would pique his interest, is what I'm saying.
Right. No, yeah, understand.
Without giving away the fact that his beloved son has returned to him.
Wrong use of word. Beloved.
Existing.
Yes. Project. Probably a better one. But yes, okay, let's... I mean, we could just be... Sure. We could be direct. There's no reason to give a false...
Yes, there is. Spies.
Yeah, but it's more likely that the spies are going to... If we go to the temple, wait for him there, look at some books. That's always good fun. And then he pops in and we go, hello, father. And
Well, we can do that. We'll see when we get there.
All right,
I mean, if we're challenged by soldiers.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do we take the direct route through the roads, or do we peel off as we move towards the borders and head into small forests, copses,
Alamennowyth will never take a direct route if there are other options.
There are indeed other options.
Religiously speaking.
So Gerhardt's kind of like, yes, roads, but also aware that you can get us through woods pretty well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, I will. If we're going through woods and everything, fine. But I really do need somewhere relatively normal-ish to sleep.
Well, of course.
Right. Okay. Good.
We don't expect you to sleep in a
few
tree.
key events. Number one, moving through the forest with Alamennowyth is a little bit like, you can't help but feel like you're a slug and she's some sort of champion hound. In that she's constantly looking back as if to say, seriously, come on, move more quickly.
Got bracken stuck in there.
However, you've also found yourself in a couple of places in Black Rock that you had never been before. An escarpment, which you were aware that existed. You passed by it multiple times by coach, and now you find yourself atop it, walking along by its edge, and you get quite the extraordinary view over Black Rock, the peaks that are soaring in the mountains behind you, leading down into the enormous number of mines, which you've never seen from this angle before. And just how many works there are, the towns and the villages spread out before you, it's quite extraordinary.
Would I, as part of my learning, oh no, I wouldn't be a full apprentice yet, would I? Because I need to get that paperwork signed. Yeah, fair enough.
It doesn't mean that you've not been learning, it's just you're not officially learning.
Right.
But she's teaching.
She's teaching,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
good stuff. Then something that I'll be using is the art sketch, because it's one of the skills that I got from there. So just do a little sketch of
It's an odd thing. The odd thing is that you remember once your father going off on ridiculous hikes. You never really got that. You were far more of a bookman, far more of a stay-at-home and civilization man.
I can read about the hikes.
Exactly.
Yeah, easy.
But for possibly the first time in your life, you begin to appreciate what he was doing. It's not just about hiking. It's understanding, seeing. From here, you can see just how difficult this place is going to be to assault. There's only 2 routes up. Only 2 at this particular point. Down 2 valleys. There's no other way up from at least this particular escarpment that you can see. It's interesting seeing it from here. Now, you probably could have figured that out from a map, but the map wouldn't have given you just how obviously weaker one of them is than the other. And you can see that the other has fortifications spread all across it and new fortifications going up on this side.
What's the difference between seeing an elevation line on a map and going, oh, I have to walk up this hill?
Yeah, and then suddenly realising how much harder it is. And there's been an awful lot of, oh my gosh, I wish I wasn't walking up this hill anymore. Why are we going this way, Alamennowyth? Can't we go by the, oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a terrible sketch, by the way.
Yeah, of course it is. We all knew.
Yeah.
And from up here, you also see one other thing. Not just the fortifications being built, not just all the towns and the villages and the mines, you also see the troops. And there's a lot of them. You would guess as much as now we're in the land, 50% of them, mercenary. But a good 50% of them are your father's. He's feigning weakness at the borders. One town, you reckon, is probably entirely militarized. The entirety of that town is probably purely military. A new fort that you didn't know about. Now that you're here, there it is. It's sprung up out of nowhere.
It's easy to tell the difference, even up at like this height and distance away from these things. Enough to be able to like look at it like I'm playing Age of Empires.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
You totally are.
Yeah. All the mercenary troops, they're all up in that black armor.
Yes, they are. And he has apparently only hired in trots, or at least the trots have just brought themselves in because they're now part of the family. Yeah. And they come in a variety of different forms. On day 3, you pass by pikemen, an enormous number of pikemen, huge long spears, and they're training out in the grounds, holding off demigryphs that are prowling round in circles with knights on, and there's shouts and there's calls. Your first awareness of magic being used as they're tearing down, burning a forest. What they require so much charcoal for, you're not entirely sure, but clearly they're doing something. They're burning through it, and you can see wizards, 3 of them. Only 2 of them are wearing bright magisterial uniforms, though, suggesting that the 3rd is a witch, or just breaking the law.
That's not me.
Yeah, quite. Definitely something going on down there.
Might be foreign.
Oh, really?
You do, however, eventually get challenged because you can't pass through such a heavily militarized area without being seen. So on day 4, you're only about a day away from arriving at Newfoundland and relative safety. You've done pretty damn well at avoiding everyone, getting in, going into a village. One night you slept in at somebody else's house, just paid them some copper silvers, and they let you copper coins, copper silvers, and let you sleep in there. The next night, an inn, and hire yourself a common room place. Not great, but you're definitely trying to make yourself appear as not to be yourself. And you get encountered making your way beside a scree, a big loose shale, sliding side to a cliff. And there was no one there, then there was. And you're challenged by elves.
Ooh.
Which is a little unexpected.
Right.
They unmelt from the surrounding mountainside and make their appearance quite clearly known. Each and every one of them wrapped up in grey, almost mountain camouflage. You can see from the eye of the one that's showing and the mask that's hiding on the other, Azrai, no doubt. But Azrai out in the woods, what the? That's a warning sign if ever you saw one. Why would they be up here? And why would they be, as one of them calls out, hello?
In
Reichspiel.
Oh, right.
Good day.
Looks out and then immediately moves over to Tarel 13 and says to you, why are you with this one? Who exactly is this?
This is my charge. I protect him.
Knight said you would not be here.
And yet here I am.
You'd best beat yourself away from here now. And then says in Reichspiel, face completely shifting. Look out for yourself. And they hop out, disappear to the stones. Your first challenge.
Oh gosh, that was intense, wasn't it? They were Azrai?
Yes.
Right.
That is unheard of. Azrai out of the woods, speaking Reichspiel.
Not even wearing normal Azrai
Not
clothing.
wearing their... What has your father done for them?
Well, interesting. I honestly don't know. Maybe, I mean, what would they want? I suppose is the question.
It is like asking what a storm wants, asking what they want.
Right, I see. They seemed quite I don't speak the language, but they seemed quite aggressive when they were talking to you in comparison to the way they talked to me. What are
They are aggressive. They didn't expect me to be here. I didn't catch what they said. It is a different dialect to the one I speak. And they said a name.
Oh, right.
And said they didn't expect me to be here. Night? I don't know. Perhaps they have a seer.
Is it so? I mean, if you think about the way that you're here with me and with us and traveling with the collective, whatever we've been called recently, yes, Agents of Ubersreik. That was quite interesting. Not what I would call us, but you know. Do you think they have a similar thing? Like they've been told, or there's been something which means that they have to be here?
I do not know.
Okay.
It is
Well,
beyond me. Oh, I suppose I could ask my political question.
Politics question.
Why on earth would the Azrai be allied with a human?
The chances of it are slim to none.
Oh, but I've already thought of a reason.
And what reason have you considered?
Marisith.
That would be one.
What's a Maraseth?
That would be a very strong one.
You can't tell me.
Oh, I could.
Are you going to?
I heard when I was outside Altdorf that the Azrai had allied with elves to the north. My people, the Aemir.
Oh, right.
My people are not like the Azrai. They live in the woods, but they are more political.
Pleasant?
No. More like your father, actually.
Oh, a whole nation of people like my father?
Yes.
Oh, no. And you're one of them?
I am somewhat of a rebel, an outcast.
Right.
I walk my own path.
Okay. Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, you heard me tell von Ostland I was a princess. That is true. In a way.
Yes, that is true. That still blows my mind slightly as well.
And my people might have made an agreement with the... Well, I know they did. They made an agreement with the Azrai, and they may be guiding them somehow. They may have asked them to be here. I do not know.
Do you think that while the Azrai would not usually do this sort of thing, that...
Rumble, thunder, hooves.
Rumble, hooves.
Hooves in the distance.
Should we get off the road again?
We should hide.
You're not on the road.
We're not on the road.
On a big scree, picking your way over a mountain line to try and avoid the worst of the roads.
We will find cover, though.
Right.
So we're not shot at.
It's not so much a game of cat and mouse, and more a game of cat and very, very, very small little insect.
No, cats sometimes miss insects because the insects are too small.
They do, and I think it's a fair comparison because you do manage to avoid them for a good 2 hours.
Nice.
Until eventually you get cornered as you're attempting to make your way across a road and over into the next area.
I can cast a bit of magic to hide our tracks. Falco.
Horseman. Mercenary horseman.
Hey.
Trots folk. A skull with the skin pulled off it down to its bottom half is apparently this particular regiment's symbol in Trots Marauders. Skin skull. Lovely. And they come and eventually ring round and surround you and then come in until there's really nowhere for you to go. It's just all horse, skull, skin, and horseman. Many a spear pointed in your direction. Until eventually, one of them says, "What are you doing here? Who are you?"
We are messengers. We have been charged to deliver a letter. Personally. Get it out.
Well,
Get it out.
Okay.
It's got the trot seal on it,
Yeah,
right?
it does, yeah. From your boss.
Looks at you. Who are you?
I'm Alamennowyth Shadowvale. And I'm a messenger. And a guardian.
Up. And they all go.
Oh.
They just go.
All right.
Let's get on then.
Seems to have gone okay.
Gallop off.
Well done. That was a bit of a scary moment.
Were you scared of them?
Yes, I was. It was the thicket of spears, actually. Sort of very close. Good horsemanship, though. Very good horsemanship.
Tillian, I think.
Right.
Not so sure if it was. Maybe Borderlander.
Maybe Borderlander.
Are they good with horses out there?
I have no idea.
An overwhelming urge to say, "Give me your name, horsemaster, and I'll give you mine." And I don't know where it came from, but it was there.
I think Borderlanders... I don't know anything about the horse disposition of the Borderlands in Tillia.
Oh, no, that's fine. Curious more than anything. Right. I don't want to do that again. Shall we go? Shall we move faster?
That night is a scary night, just because you feel like everything's going to go wrong. You've got a choice between camping out in the wild going into a local inn, an inn that you've actually stayed in before in the past as well. We're definitely on the road now towards Newfoundland Castle itself. Or alternatively, just buying your way through to staying in with one of the local peasants.
That's the choices.
That's the obvious choices, but you can come up with a plan D if you prefer.
I think the peasants. You might be recognised at the inn.
Yes, it's unlikely.
It is unlikely, but coincidences have abounded.
No, it's true. Well, the peasants will probably just be somewhat shell-shocked that somebody is staying in their place and is paying the money.
Exactly.
Although, if somebody's paying you money, then it's quite likely that somebody else will pay you money to find that person. But I mean, you can keep an eye on these things. Do you sleep?
Not that much.
Less.
Yes. No, I thought so. All right. Well, if anybody, yes, let's find a local, pay them a small amount of coin, see if we can stay with them, and you can tell them stories. We can both tell them stories, histories, whatever, and then acclimatize ourselves to them, and then you keep an eye out. If any of them try and tell anybody else, you can not,
What do you want me to do?
Non-lethally stop them.
Right.
The night has been more comfortable for you. Alamennowyth largely purchased most of it.
Mm-hmm.
A quiet stall in the corner of a hovel, far away from everyone. It's in the morning, at approximately 6, that you receive a guest. Raven hair. It would be unfair to call her conventionally attractive. Her eyes are a bit too large, her forehead's a bit too large, her chin is very strong. But it's fair to say that she is definitely an unusual beauty, perhaps. She is distinctive. Mm-hmm. She is clearly quite striking. She's dressed in long culottes, big huge split down the middle, and absolutely marvellously stitched bustier. Her arms are out free, completely naked, to the, early spring sun. And she's tapping on the door, straight in to see you. Looks down in your little cot where you're sleeping, Alamennowyth. Spied her some time ago coming. Nowhere to go. She's got any guards with her or anything similar, but she's clearly got money. Because no one wears that without having some money.
We're at the karma.
She has a smile on her face. Hello. You'll be Gerhardt, I presume.
Do you see what I mean? Everybody just knows exactly who I am. Almost immediately. Yes. Hello. Right, 1 second. Let me get my keks back on.
And you'll be my mother-in-law.
I'm sorry, what?
My mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law?
Yes. You're married to my father, I believe. No, not mother-in-law, is it? Stepmother, that's it. Stepmother. And you'll be my brother-in-law. That's it.
Right.
It is.
What is going on?
This is, I presume, I have never had the pleasure of meeting her.
She pulls out a stool as a peasant. The man who you had recently referred to as Gunter is sitting in the corner looking terrified.
The Duke of Thames' daughter, your sister-in-law.
Yes. No, I had sort of figured that out, but it's more...
Did you often talk in front of people as if they're not there?
Yeah, quite a lot, actually.
You're so much more attractive than your brother.
I don't need to hear that.
You're stuck on the husband bit, aren't you?
Yes, I am very much stuck on that part, yes. Yes, can we just rewind it in a second? Look, we'll do the pleasantries. That'll throw me right off, otherwise...
What is the problem? Is it my stepmother? Or,
yes.
Or is it...
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. What?
I have been wanting to meet you for a very long time.
Zeneca.
I met him when he was a young man.
Vows were exchanged, indeed. I've heard the story multiple times.
And I'm just looking at. No, you said stepmother, right? Stepmother, yes.
No, my mother, my father's third wife.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's quite different.
You were what? Second, first?
Second. We made an alliance between our houses.
You are so much prettier than your brother.
I am absolutely reeling right now.
I do like to see somebody look so confused.
Yes, all right. I'm so sorry. I definitely know your name. I've just...
Do you?
Yes, because obviously I would.
You could call me sister, darling.
No, don't want to do that. Please, what's her fucking name? No. Gonna have to help me out here, Andy.
Griselda, perhaps?
Griselda?
Could be,
That seems pretty witchy.
Yeah. It might be that. Oh, is it? You think it might be, but you don't want to say it because you might be wrong.
No, I'm gonna say it. All right, so it's Griselda, isn't it? Probably wrong.
Let's say it is.
Gertrude. No, don't like that either.
Oh no, you could call me Grizzy.
Why are they all weird? This entire family just... Oh my god.
She smiles at you. I'm interested to see if you're here to supplant my brother.
Absalom?
Quite.
Supplant him?
That would be preferable.
Why?
Well, he's a horror, isn't he?
Well, yes, obviously, but also why?
Well, he's a horror.
Has he done anything wrong? Why would I be here to supplant him?
His very existence is... You've met him.
Your actual brother, just out of curiosity.
Oh yes, he's my actual brother.
Right. Okay. Fine.
The second I heard you were here, there was no way I wasn't going to come and meet you.
How did you hear that I was here?
My knight.
Yes, I know, but they never met me.
No, but they met Mother Dearest.
Have you
and
told?
Who
Did you
else
tell
would
them that
Mother
you were?
Dearest be with?
Do they know that because you told them that I'm with you?
No, I have told no one you're with me.
I just know she's a conniving, two-faced bitch.
Whoa.
So there's obviously going to be no doubt that she would be trying to tease things apart from behind the scenes. So what have you brought him here for? I hope you don't intend him to supplant my husband.
No, your father asked him to come.
I've got a letter for my father from your father, which seems strange if you're here and Absalom is here, that he would not just pass that on himself.
He just recently arrived.
Right, okay.
Which is really unfortunate. I was hoping that you were here to, I don't know, get rid of him.
No.
Maybe that's what's in your little letter. Have you opened it?
Nope.
Well, why not?
Because it's been sealed. Magically sealed, I should say.
Oh, how curious. Magically sealed?
Yes, very much so.
Who told you that?
You did?
His wizard.
My wizard.
Oh. You've got a wizard.
Yes.
I like that.
I actually have 3 wizards.
I like that even more.
Mm-hmm.
3 of them?
Yes.
So, if your brother should die, I mean, should it happen, you do realise that you and I are almost certain to be married.
Nope. That's not... That isn't how that works.
That is exactly how it works. You think you've got control of your destiny?
Yes, no, very much so. Like...
She just laughs. You're ridiculous.
I hate this family so much then.
You're going to be the heir, you know. You don't choose who you marry when you're heir.
No, I'm not going to be the heir because my brother is the heir, and
You know he's going to war.
Yes, I know he's going to war.
So how long do you think he's going to be the heir? I don't think he's capable of getting you with child.
Well, that's just too much information as well. I've just met you for the first time. Hello, new sister-in-law. P.S. Fancy a shag when your brother's dead.
Just to make it clear, I've had a child. I'm just not saying it was his.
Right. Oh God.
But he needed to get one, so.
Awful people.
They're not.
You do this all the time. Just speak your thoughts.
He does.
Yes.
That's unwise.
Well,
Very unwise.
If people started doing it in general,
then we would have a lot more slit throats.
No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't
Yes,
have any.
we would.
No.
Yes.
Listen, if you equip an entire room with exactly the same amount of information and weaponry, nobody kicks off because it's all certain for everybody to kick
That's
off.
a completely different premise to the one we discussed,
Nope.
which was you simply mouthing off about things that are in your mind as they come to you.
No, just look, your family in one, regardless. I've just woken up. I've been on the road for 3 days. Why is she... Look.
You need somebody to take you in hand.
No, that's not what I need either.
They're almost the exact opposite of your brother. He thinks he's completely capable. Thinks he's wonderfully apt for any particular job that may be before him, while being simultaneously inept.
Yes, okay. And
you, what are you? You just talk.
I told you about that yesterday.
I know. Look, listen. No. All right.
You do squirm so. How'd you meet Absalom? How was he?
Yes.
Did he threaten you? He likes to threaten.
Do you mean Zeneca?
No, I mean Absalom.
Oh well, I've met him many times.
No, I hear you met him recently in Upward.
Yes, of course he did.
He threatened you.
Yeah, of course he did. No, I mean,
I wondered if you would. It's a measure of how much respect he has for your father.
what, that he would threaten myself?
Yes. The fact that he did, that concerns me. He might try to kill your father. That is very interesting.
Well, I'd already assumed that was the plan from your lot anyway to begin with.
Wouldn't it be ridiculous? Young Freud name cannot be so easily discarded.
Well, it's not easily discarded, is it? You've got a young Freud already.
Well, we've got one of them.
You say that you're, don't talk, blah, 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 but how have you not figured that in the first place? You only need one of them. You've got a child.
Yes, but it's not his.
Doesn't matter.
He smiles. I actually quite like you. You're not an idiot.
No, I'm not an idiot.
Not like Absalom. He's actually an idiot. He pretends he's not, but he is. He's
Absalom.
clever. He's very clever, but he's an idiot. I don't know you are.
Exactly, that's a much better way to position yourself is as an enigma.
Sorry, I shouldn't have laughed there. I'd spoilt it.
It's okay.
So you didn't know that my father and your companion knew each other?
No, exactly. Quite an example of an enigma. Well, not an enigma now that I know about it, but still.
It was a long time
We've talked
ago.
about them with you in the room, and you said, doesn't matter.
I told you he was a good man.
Yes, and I think I just thought you were being absolutely insane.
No, I told
Do you
you.
realise this is my father you're talking about?
Yes, no, I do. And I assume that if you're like the rest of your family, which
I'm like the rest of my
from what
family.
you're putting out there, quite likely.
You're not a natural diplomat, are you, God?
I don't need to be, not with these people.
I now understand why your father keeps you hidden. You can't be trusted. You'd start wars just by passing through. You intend to ruin the alliance that your father has built with my father?
No, I don't intend to ruin it.
Well, you're doing a very good job of it. These people...
Look, if you cannot withstand words in our environment and these games that people play, then really can you even get to the position where you can withstand swords?
You do realise just how touchy most of the nobles of the Empire are.
Yes, I do.
So what, is this a test from you?
No, not
Those
test.
who can stand your barrage of truth, they're worthy of your respect, or alternatively, they're not worthy of anything. So what is the point of your barrage of truth in the first place?
That, quite frankly, is for me to know.
I am sure you were not this rude to her father.
Oh, pretty close. No, but...
No, but what?
Mm.
You should apologize to the lady.
If you were polite, you would.
You should.
I should have... No, absolutely not.
You're
You
being
told me to be
deeply
decisive.
insulting.
Yes, you've insulted her father, you've insulted her.
And I've insulted her brother as well, don't forget that.
Yes. You should apologise to her.
Okay, well, how about this? Let's have this conversation. If I don't apologise, what's the intent?
What's the intent of what?
Your intent.
What do you mean, what is my intent?
Well, if I don't apologise, what's the outcome of it?
Well, how can you know that? Until you choose to go one way or the other. What sort of man are you? Are you the sort that apologises, or do you just throw insults as and when you prefer?
No, look, but I tell you what I am.
Yes.
I'm somebody who I like to tell the truth when I can, and if I can. And quite frankly, I have been very truthful, overly truthful with you and your family. Absalom is aware of my disdain for him, regardless, and we are working together, apparently. Your father also, very much so, and I told him some truths that he's very much used to his advantage.
Fascinating. What truths were they?
They were for him, and if he has not shared them with you, then I presume he does not see it a requirement to share with you in the first place. So maybe have a conversation with dear old Dad. I'm just a little irked at the fact that this is the way that you would choose to introduce yourself, and then also...
What would you rather I did it in court?
Well,
where you couldn't speak your mind.
There's less of a conversation. There's also you still threatened my brother, regardless of his incompetence, regardless of where he's been positioned.
And there's the truth of it.
You don't just walk into somebody's... Well, no.
See, that's the difference between your family and mine. Threats are common. They're just threats. Where for your family, it appears that insults are common.
No.
Or is that just you?
Yes.
You clearly haven't spoken to your brother lately. All he does is insult my brother. But then, I don't particularly stop that, because I do the same. I can't say that I'm particularly fond of Absalom. You're an interesting fellow. How old are you?
Once again, 21. Or 2, or 3. I think I'm 21.
Right.
All right, well, look.
Your brother is currently heading towards death. It's of his own making. There's almost nothing I can do to stop it.
In war or in
in
court?
war.
Right.
He's more bloodthirsty than almost any man I've met because he wants to outdo us.
Oh, that's disappointing.
You know,
Yes.
isn't it just? I was told this was a marriage to the young Freud, but it's not going to last. He's almost impotent. He's so convinced that he has to stand up for something that he can't stand up for anything. He's so desperate to be a good leader that he's becoming a tyrant. His chin is weaker than, well, perhaps we are bandying insults. What I am suggesting to you is that perhaps you talk to your brother. Because he will be dead soon, and if he's dead soon, you and I are going to get married whether we want to or not. That is why I came down to meet you. I wanted to see who you truly were when you were trapped in a hovel. Turns out you're an insulting pig, with little in the way of manners, quite unlike any right kind of noble I've met in my entire life. And I've met many of them in my time. You're actually horrible. You're a horrible person. You've got no filter, no ability to see the danger of what you're saying. You're foolish. You're clearly an idiot in the nicest way. And I don't know if you'll survive either. Your tongue will probably get yourself killed. But what can I do? If you're to be my next husband, you're to be my next husband. There'll be little I can do about that as well. So one brother is an idiot in one way, the other's an idiot in a completely different way. And if the worst comes to the worst, I might have to bloody marry the youngest one, wherever he is. That would be a horror show. But it's good to know, though.
Have you spoken to your brother about me?
No, I don't speak to my brother. I don't like him.
What about your father?
I have spoken to my father multiple times, and yes, your name has come up more than once, sadly.
Interesting.
But not since you spoke to him.
Yeah, okay. Well, if that's your takeaway from this conversation, then so be it.
I still think you should apologise to the lady.
I'm not sure you can.
You are a gentleman, she is a lady. It doesn't matter what her family is. It doesn't matter who her father is. It is simply a fact. You are a gentleman and she is a lady.
My bloodline is older than yours. You know, we wanted to go down that particular route. There have been trots in Tame for longer than the Empire has existed. The young Freuds can only trace themselves to just after Sigmar's time.
Is that true?
Which part?
That bit.
The young Freuds.
Yeah.
And the
I
young
thought it
Freuds
was
can-
the other way round.
The young Freuds can
were longer than
accurately
the
trace their
trots.
bloodline to just after Sigmar's time, but they claim that it goes back a good few hundred
Okay.
years before that.
Right. Yeah.
They claim, but they've got no actual family tree. They don't have the names.
Okay.
The trots claim names. Doesn't mean that they're real.
We didn't have that 30 years ago.
Quite.
Everyone's a trot.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a bog dweller, if you can just say, like, oh, that's where my family's from.
Mm-hmm.
Which is clearly my position. Right, fine. Yes, sure. Have you taken offence from anything I've said?
That's an interesting point. Doesn't matter what I've thought or not thought about this particular conversation. What's more interesting to me is what you think of yourself.
Again, that's for me.
So thus, one doesn't apologise.
You got it.
Well, that's going to make for an interesting future, isn't it? Good day to you.
A good day. It was
Mother?
a pleasure to meet you.
It was a pleasure to meet you also. No idea what my father saw in you, but... That's an insult, I suppose. And good day to you, potential husband-to-be. She backs out.
Are you angry with me or her?
I actually don't know right now, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Right.
What? Like all of it. Just... I hate that family so much.
I think you should probably go now.
Yes, no, fair enough.
Basically, been sitting in the background.
I know you hate them, but
As
we
you make
talked
your way
about
down
this
the path.
before, that you allow them to herd you with your emotions, like you're a sheep.
What's interesting, actually, out the back of that, is her father thinks very differently of me than she does, from what she just said. And you know what's interesting as well about the brother? Something different.
It's probably because her father fancies you.
More than likely, don't mind that. It's not a problem. That's an extra copper for that chap for his troubles. Just in case.
What
he
does
has
her
to
father
leg
think
it.
of you?
Well, his father, I think, might be a little bit more aware of how close to my father I am when it comes to things.
She was extremely rude to me, by the way.
She was extraordinarily rude. Why the hell did you try and make me apologise? Absolutely not.
Just
She
wanted to
called
see
you
if you would.
a bitch. Straight out, immediately.
She was very rude to me, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. I'm so surprised you didn't, just
Well-
pop an arrow in the face.
It's because I don't have pride. Because pride kills you.
Well, it can do.
No,
Can
it
also make
does.
you.
No,
Yes, it can.
pride is very... You should choose when to be proud.
But no,
And
that entire
I
family,
like to...
terrible people. Well, not terrible people, just...
Look, there are
Terrible
people.
people.
There are
Terrible
people you
people.
want to be allies, and there are people you don't want to be allies. And I made a decision a long time ago that I wanted him on my side.
So if you're still alive,
Yes. But she misunderstands things. She's not as clever as she thinks she is.
that I did actually get, surprisingly, from all that malarkey. But it does mean that... Should I try and save my brother?
Of course you should. You should speak with him.
I should. But it's going to be a problem. Because it's whether I do that first or second. And also I don't know where he is. I should have asked that question. Oh, what a tit.
Emotions got in the way.
Sometimes I do admit that, yes, fine. Okay. I'm sure we'll be able to find out if that's the case, if they're going to war into a position that will get himself killed.
It's been a dark few days. It's no surprise that you might get a bit stompy.
Your father was just the same when he was young.
How
That look was brilliant.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff, isn't there?
I to punch you in the face. Look, that is what your people forget. I never understand it. The old forget they were young. The young don't realise that the old were ever young. And you just... I don't know. You just seem to forget.
Have you... Do you... I apologise if this is a crass question. Can elves bear children from humans?
In the ordinary course of things, no. But in the ordinary course of things, goblins cannot mutate. So in these end times, who knows what is possible. But in the ordinary course of things, no.
Right, fine. All right.
Why? Who do you think is a half-elf?
Or half human.
Well, I was very tactfully trying to find out if potentially you'd done the deed with me, old man.
Oh.
And also knowing a few things around and seeing faces in certain places. If there was a slightly pointy-eared version of myself around there somewhere.
Oh my god.
Yes, exactly.
The thought makes me feel quite queasy.
Exactly.
Yes, but I would have had to have given birth. And I would have known that.
Well, no,
it wouldn't have happened by accident.
That was my point and why I asked the question in a somewhat tactful way of going, is that possible, before just going...
No, it is not possible. Usually.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
The first night I met your father, he challenged an elf to a duel because the elf had insulted my honour.
Right, well, that's not... Are you sure? My father?
Yes, I am sure. Remember, he was young once.
Yes, no,
he
I
didn't come out
understand that.
fully formed the way he is. The things of his youth, the mistakes he made, shaped him into the man he didn't want his sons to be.
Andy, I want to stop now. Don't make me keep going.
What is this?
All right. Fine. Let's go see if
Andy
we can
was
save my
friends
brother.
with the Duke of Tame.
What with?
With Zeneca. Yes, they were friendly.
Yes, okay, friendly, but friends?
Well, your father wouldn't stop going on about how he wasn't friends with him. That he was an awful person.
Okay, that doesn't sound like friendship.
No, it doesn't, and yet here they are today, allies, because
Yes.
your father grew up. Maybe you should try it. Come on.
Yeah, on we go.
So much piled on top of Gerhardt in such a short period of time.
Is that the shit flying off the gyrocopter?
Yeah, totally is. Gyrocopter blades spinning, griffin ship dropping down. What the fuck is all this?
Okay. All right. So, God. Sigma. Do you want to? I don't know. Should we see if we can find my brother and tell him not to do? I mean, she might not know.
She may... Look, let us continue to deliver this letter to your father.
A couple of hours later, a new Falyung can be seen in the very distant nook that it takes in the mountainside. There is a constant stream of soldiers going to and from it.
Oh, God.
Citizenry of all types, bringing resources, taking other types of resources away. This is a place that is in full, let's say, defensive mode, preparing for potentially the worst. Everything is being gathered. Fortifications are far stronger and higher than when you were last here, and it wasn't that long ago. Everything is slowly changing. What's particularly interesting is the mix of troops, mostly here, almost entirely proper Jungfrau troops.
Good. Okay.
But not entirely. Camped out down the long slope that wends its way down from New Falyung. Near the bottom is a large regiment, clearly mercenaries from the Trots. Big banners, crossed pikes, with a single skull sitting in the centre.
Out of curiosity, is there any sign of any dwarven clans?
None.
Okay, that's not enacted yet.
Not here, at least.
I mean, you'd keep it in the north and use it from the north, right?
Presumably.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd also, I don't know how smart he is, whether he's put 2 and 2 together and gotten 4, probably is. Fine. Okay, cool. Good to know.
Mixing in, heading up, sneaking in, going round the side. What's the plan?
I think I've broken Gerhardt. Alamennowyth's broken him.
I don't, just... Okay, what do you think?
We just go to the temple and we'll just sit there and read quietly.
I agree. So, casual as we are, citizenships? Citizenry?
Yes. Exactly.
Not citizenships. That would be very difficult to do it here, wouldn't it? Because no water. Alright, let's do it.
Joining in the queues? Trying to sneak in? What's our plan to get into Newfoundland? There's really only one gate in.
Yeah, hide in plain sight, I think, on this one.
Join the queue?
Yes, very much so.
It's going to take a good hour to get up there, but patience is not a particularly difficult commodity to attain. It's half an hour into that you're approached. There's been general chat of the not particularly interesting, just people waking their way up through the queues. But this is an actual approach. 3 horsemen in black colours, stopping by where you are. And one of them calling out, Alamennowyth!
It is I.
Says, you do realise someone's waiting for you.
Who is waiting for me?
Who do you think? You don't even know who this is.
I do not know who you are. Have we met?
Stands up, shows the crossed pike and the skull in the centre of it.
Conditoro?
She's waiting for you. Your wife is very lonely.
I'm going to have to go.
What?
Well, I'm going to have to go. My wife is lonely.
You're not coming through the gate with me?
I probably should go to the temple with him.
Probably should.
Hide. I will come to the temple with you.
Right.
Tell her I will be there shortly. She's waited this long. She can wait a little longer.
You hear a snigger from one of the other ones. He goes, he looks at him. No, you really should come. No, you really should come.
No, I am not coming. I have set my mind on it. I will take my friend to the temple.
The other one says, you heard her. Shut up. No, you have to come. I've been sent to take you back. You have to come.
I think you'll find I have to do no such thing.
And from across the way you hear a, Oi! You, mercenary, fuck off!
Sorry.
That's them. He looks round. Says, who the hell do you think you are? He says, locals.
Gerhardt's like, woot woot!
Yeah, that I'm a big fan of. Well done, lads.
She can wait.
The other one goes, you should probably turn around. No, we need to take her. And again,
We just walk past these people.
slowly going forward in the queue. And he says, she'll know, and gallops off.
You have a wife as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just because I don't know about this stuff.
Yes.
Warhammer World.
Yes.
Marriage.
Yes.
Polyamorous stuff.
There are some, there's a variety of different types of relationship that do exist. Most of them tend to be relatively, particularly amongst humans, what you'd expect.
Right.
Polyamory, for example, does exist, and some cults support it. The cult of Manan, for example, as we've discussed before in the past, will often marry everybody together and amongst the family group. So all the sailors, when they go back, if they don't come back, they have a support network and they share the pensions amongst them all. But it's not really a marriage per se. Multiple marriages, as in bigamy or some equivalent, is pretty rare.
Yeah.
It's enough to be shocking.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, that's enough. The response that you're having is probably the response that he's having. So what exactly? How does this work?
Okay. Yeah. All right. You got a wife as well. How many husbands do you have?
He is not my husband. My house is my ally to his house.
When you now is this a culture thing? When you say allied,
yes.
Do you mean married?
There is a marriage between our two houses,
Right,
yes.
yes, okay, yes you do. Good, okay, all right. No, that's fine. And it might just be a cultural thing. This other wife, who was that, by the way?
I have no idea.
Okay, good. I don't trust anything now. Everything's gone wrong.
What is going on?
Your wife, I won't ask too much about that. Well, I probably should though, because it might turn out that somebody else.
I will tell you so you do not insult her if you meet her.
Oh, right. That's probably a good idea.
She is the condottiero of one of Trott's regiments.
Right. Good. What's a condottiero?
You don't know.
Okay, excellent. Right, good. Is all I'm going to say.
The commander.
Yeah, okay, fine. Right. That's actually very useful. Would you say that she likes you more than Zeneca?
There are very few people that have met us both that would like him more than me.
Oh, okay, good.
Have you met him?
Yeah, no, I know, but, you know.
I am very likable.
True. It's probably the wrong question. Do you think she would betray him for you?
Why would not ask her to?
Well, that's disappointing. Fucking useless. Anyway, I'm saying those guys are bad guys. Exploit your love for troops.
Exploit your love for troops.
Yeah.
Oh, Gerhardt.
Okay, alright, fine. Well, look, alright, regardless, let's get inside.
Who have you become?
And I know, it's awful, isn't it?
Who have I become?
What's this mirror? Yeah, that's the next song that's getting sung. It's definitely Her, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
No, it's
but
fine.
I do not like to tell people things that they have not asked.
Yeah. Do you know what? You're exactly right there. Nobody asked you if that was the case. It's a very specific question to ask, but nobody has asked you that question. So, yep. Yeah.
It would be like asking Leopold to insult Sigmar in his own temple. I could
Is
not
that
do
what
it.
I've just done to you?
No, if I had told you without reason, I would have...
Okay.
I could not have done that.
Okay, I understand.
But now someone has, unfortunately, shared some details of my personal life. I am willing to discuss them with you.
Oh, so this is because you walk in the path.
Like her little eyes, like, oh, yeah.
That you cannot. Right. And now that I know, can I tell other people, or is that just, do I have to keep that to
would
myself?
be rude.
No, it's good to know. No, good clarification.
And I would take it personally.
This queue is moving slowly.
You told me a secret about the potato, though, so it is only fair that you should have some of mine in return.
Very true. Okay, no, that's fine. I feel that there is a little bit of a value exchange there at some point. I tell you what, I won't give you a secret, but maybe we can ponder on a riddle that I used to enjoy when I was a child.
All right.
Now that we're back here and everything. There's a boat full of people.
Right.
100 people on this boat. Yet when it came to leave, Not a single person was on board.
Right. I will think about it.
Good. Excellent.
There's a hairy moment as you make your way through the gates, because the commander of the watch there is known to you. He's older, but not that much older. Not been that long since you were last here. The big beard, the pull-down hood, the yanked-down hat. Everybody who's entering needs to have a reason to be entering. That is a thing.
Messengers? We've got a letter.
But
Yeah,
you
it's
have
quite
a seal.
Big one.
It's a really good reason to be passing through. And that is enough to get you through. The seal of the House Trot, of all things, is what secures you entry to New Fallion. To a degree, it shows just how trusted House Trot has become here.
Except by that guy down the street. Fuck you. You're like, lads.
Yeah. He's getting recruited as we leave.
Yeah.
A lovely dinner is had at one of the few eateries that Gerhardt is yet to try in New Fallion. And there's a reason for that.
It's new.
It's new.
Huh.
New Fallion has expanded. And that much is certain now you're on the inside. Its population, you think, may have as much as doubled. Those who used to live in Ubersreik and remained loyal to your family have clearly retreated in this direction. They won't just have come here. They will come to many other forts and other places, but New Fallion itself, the centre of your father's power, has swollen significantly. It's oddly Bretonian, with strange flaky breads and garlicky sauces. And you know what? Really good.
Excellent.
Really very good. And that has turned your mood almost instantly.
This is fantastic. Have you had the chicken and apple?
No, but I will try it.
It's, especially with the crusty bread and the salted butter. Oh.
That evening, you make your way to the Temple of Verena. It's a fairly typical example of its kind, an almost classical style building with fluted columns. The internal of it is taken up by mostly the library. It's not the largest library that you've encountered, significantly smaller than, for example, Bergenhafen's, but still a relatively extensive one. It's dominated at the far end by an enormous mirror.
Why is there a mirror in a temple?
You don't know.
Light.
Oh.
So you can read
Enlightenment is a whole central thrust of much of Verenan teaching. And light is at the very centre of that. And indeed, standing at the far end are two knights, that are apparently temple guards, knights of the everlasting light.
Oh.
Their armour is almost polished to a mirror sheen.
I went for a punt on that light statement.
Yeah.
Isn't that legit?
And you're 100% legit.
Good job.
Yay.
Alamennowyth was like totally convinced.
And now you just got to wait for hopefully your father to arrive, or some alternative.
Just in the interest of full disclosure. He might not be very pleased to see me.
Right.
But hopefully he'll just ignore me.
All right. Well, no, this is going to be tense and embarrassing and awkward as it is. So,
maybe I could just hide behind the bookshelf.
well, if you need to, also your. This is a strange thing to say. Your wife is calling for you, and I guess I'm here now. So.
Yes, but I'd rather whatever you spoke with him about wasn't watched. At least handing over the letter. I'll linger in the building.
Because of your. Yes.
It's about an hour later. Gerhardt is sitting somewhere, I presume, with a book, leafing through it, possibly even an old favourite. Something that set him down on the path that he currently walks.
Yeah.
Alamennowyth is probably perching somewhere on a column, looking down, waiting for some form of, oh well, there we go, there's some trouble. Walking in, you hear before you see him, Caw! An old man.
Is it
with blind eyes.
Is it Dodgy Johan?
Oh, what is he doing here?
Quite. What is he doing here?
Maybe he's a wizard.
He comes in, looks around from side to side. Is there a young lord here? Young lord!
This fucking guy.
As his blind head looks from side to side, and the white crow swoops in and alights a column on the opposite side to where you are. Your feet hanging down.
Oh.
He says, I think there might be a mirror before us. What do you see, young lord? In the mirror?
Oh. Hello, Johan.
Advice again, my lord? Is that what you require? Where is your advisor? Did you abandon him on the road? I imagine he's probably been kidnapped.
Oh, shit.
You let him out of your sight, didn't you? That was an unwise thing to do. Have you not realized yet just how much there are people out there looking to hurt him? Yes. Where are you? I can't see you. Not that you can see anyway. Where are you?
No, I'm over here.
Ah, there you are, young lord. I knew you would be here. I knew you would be here.
Okay. All right. Well, look.
Is the elf here?
Yeah, no, she is, yes.
Yes. Now it makes sense.
Right.
Now everything makes sense. And spits on the floor.
Okay, that's a temple. Johan, it's been a really long day.
Priestess comes out and says, excuse me, you can't be spitting on the floor.
Good.
I'll do what I want, wench. Away, 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 away.
She's not. Oh, it's fine. Don't. He's weird and dodgy. Don't worry about it.
I'll get the High Father. And runs off. Yes, you do that.
Right.
High Father.
Johan.
Ah, there you are.
Okay.
What do you see? He points to the mirror.
What do I see?
In the mirror. Yes. What will you be? Tyrant? Fool? Ah, fool it is!
All right.
He says, now we know. I have someone to tell. And he walks out.
No, hang on. Johan, back you come. I'm sorry, this is ridiculous.
I'm walking
no,
off.
all right, it's fine. I can move faster than you can.
Yeah, you certainly can.
Categorically. And I will lay hands on Johan.
Oh, yes, my lord.
Right, look, listen.
Yeah.
You keep turning up in these strange places with your shtick.
Oh, no, you keep turning up in these places, and I encounter you. It is almost like you're walking in someone's footsteps.
Well, who are you? Are they your footsteps?
No, you were here first.
But you were there first in the Schaffenfest.
No,
Look,
I was not.
He said, she said. What? Why are you here, Johan? What do you want? Who are you going to tell?
I'm just looking for someone to advise.
Right. Okay. Advise what?
Well, we'll see. It depends how it all falls out, doesn't it?
All right. Well, look.
Watch out for those with a million eyes, my lord, for they will one day look towards you. One day, and we shall see what they see in time. And might I leave, my lord?
Johan. Yeah. Oh, you can leave, but next time, because there will be a next time, undoubtedly.
It depends where you go, my lord, if our paths cross.
No, I don't think that really means anything anymore. Next time, we're having a proper conversation. And you may get more tyrant than fool.
Yes. Now that would be a conversation I would relish.
All right.
Yes. I look forward to that day, young lord.
Yeah, sure.
Perhaps you are the one I shall be talking to. And off he goes. Lands on his shoulder. Yes. North, I think. He makes his way off.
Stomp over to Alamennowyth. More Elric than Gerhardt right now.
I'm starting to suspect there may be a slight flaw in my shadow.
Right. Well, look, here's the other thing. I'm sick of that guy turning up and just saying random bullshit that I don't understand anymore. Asking questions that just throw a great big fucking spanner in the works of whatever I'm trying to think about and figure out at that moment in time. So next time, I'm going to think about things, be prepared, and good God, he will answer some goddamn questions. Sigma damn questions.
Alamennowyth looks down at you from her perch.
What is it with...
What is it with what?
I have my own, so I can't even say this. What is it? It's secrets. We kept information. You know, it's just stuff that doesn't. Secrets, lies, tricks, half truths, all these things. It's frustrating. That's why I like books, because you can. Everything is
My
there.
lord.
Right, somebody else now. Yes.
Oh, balls.
Balls for me or balls?
Balls for you.
Oh shit.
You've been recognised.
Yeah. It's gonna happen.
You've been recognised. You have been beaten with a wooden stick by this man more times than you care to mention. He makes Leopold look nice. Castellan man at arms.
Oh right, okay.
Fortunately, maybe not so much balls, because he never goes anywhere like this, unless your father tells him to. So very good to see you, Gerhardt. Bryn. He refuses to be called any lord or anything else. He just likes to be called Bryn.
All right, Bryn.
I see your mood has improved. Are you still ready to fight at the drop of a hat? You were never ready to fight at the drop of a hat, ever.
Well...
Your father wants to see you. I presume this interesting choice of clothing. He's dressed as a soldier under your father's retinue. With rank. Is,
yes.
Really not you. How are you, boy? And he leans out to give you a hug.
Oh, okay. I think I feel better about this now. Yeah, big hug. All right, that's nice.
He says, Father wants to talk to you.
All right. Bryn, it's been...
You did really well. He didn't spot you until you got here.
Good. Okay.
He is livid. Not with you, but with the fact that you weren't spotted till you got here.
Right,
then he found out who you were with. And now he's spitting teeth and largely at me.
Right. Okay.
So I'm to take you to him. Not that one, though.
No, seems... Yeah. All right. Good to know. Okay.
So what's the nature of that relationship, then? I wouldn't mind
What?
knowing.
This one?
And, yes.
Or her and...
Either will do. You finally got yourself a...
No. You say finally. Look, it's a choice, okay? You understand that. They're a distraction collectively.
A distraction?
When things come down to it, is what I found.
I just didn't think you'd still be here after all these years.
Well, look, it doesn't matter. Bryn, it's very good to see you.
You too.
Look,
you
traveling companion.
have a scar.
Yes.
Have you been getting into fights?
Yes.
I can hardly believe it. You've been getting into fights.
Yeah.
You actually look fitter.
I mean, you say that, but that's a lie. Because
you do a bit.
Well,
fitter,
whatever.
at least.
Sure. Yeah, it's you lose the face, the baby face. I can actually tell you, which you might find this impressive, or you may think it's a barefaced lie, but I have.
I would not expect anything from you to be anything other than the truth.
No, that's
true. You are universally known for just speaking whatever comes into your mind. So come on, out with it. What is it this time?
Well, I've actually managed to slay.
Oh! He straightens up his back.
Oh, he's adorable.
You managed to slay something.
Gerhardt's actually had a tally going. Final blows and all that. I've actually managed to slay 3 mutants in my time out in the wild.
I'm actually surprised. I'm shocked. I'm awed, perhaps, my lord. 3 whole mutants.
Mm-hmm. Not just like your home garden sort of, or he was hiding in the closet sort of thing, because he had an eye in his shoulder. No, I'm talking about full blown.
Oh, Gerhardt.
You know,
your father's going to look forward to seeing you. That I just said.
While we're going over, I'll tell you the stories.
I'm fascinated to hear. By yourself, single-handed.
Oh, I think one single-handed.
What have you been doing?
My compatriots were with.
I heard you were dead, actually.
Yes, no, that was actually during one of those fights is when I did do that. But no, not dead.
Well, die?
No. Well, interesting. If you hear that, though, that I am in fact expired, then don't correct people. Okay?
I think you'll find that the exact opposite is what wants to be held within Castle Newfoundland. We have no desire to pretend that the heirs to the title here are dead.
Yes, but also...
Too late.
Okay, fine, for fuck's sake.
We're just friends, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's true. Absolutely, undoubtedly, especially after the revelations from the last 2 days. I'm sort of questioning the friend part as well, if I'm going to be completely honest.
So you know
about
her and your father, then?
Yes. Well, I've assumed and put things together as much.
I may have confirmed something I shouldn't have. He says, well, we're all young ones.
Yeah, why do you bloody said that as well?
Well, he's a different man now.
Exactly.
And you said that too. Hang on.
He frowned. Were you some sort of seer?
No, but all of you become different when you grow old and you forget what you were like to be young.
Yeah, exactly.
He says, okay, give me the shivers.
I'll be fine. I get to... Yes?
He's probably got wizards.
Oh, no, he does. There's a few.
I saw her almost 30 years ago, he says on the way out.
Right.
Bloody looks the same. It's ridiculous. How can that even be the case? There's something uncanny about them.
Nothing changed?
Her hair's longer.
Right, well, there you go.
Might well be. I don't know,
he
says. It's in Black Powder Week over in Nuln.
Oh God, I would love to see that. Yes.
Yes, she was somewhat of a feature at certain Black Powder events. What?
Oh, right.
Yes.
Do expand, Bryn. I'd be interested.
He says, oh, I will. Don't you worry. And upon that, these two will part ways towards their own individual tales. Quite a few interesting bombshells dropped there of a variety of different kinds. They will each have their own individual tales of Ubersreik, but until we get to those, we shall see you all next time.